Let's go, guys. What a game. What a game. What an opening night game the NFL had lined up for us tonight. And it's made even sweeter knowing that it was our Detroit Lions who were not only selected to go toe-to-toe with the defending champs, the reigning league MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, a Hall of Fame coach. They picked us to go in on opening night when they unveiled their banner for the Super Bowl. And we went blow for blow with the defending champs in their house and came out the other side the winner. Holy crappers, guys. We did it.
Wow.
We did it. We did it. We showcased why even if you are Patrick Mahomes and you are the best quarterback in the league far and away, one man is not good enough to defeat an entire roster of 53 players willing to go that extra mile and absolutely die in the fire for a victory. You've seen effort out of every single player that touched the field for the Detroit Lions tonight, whether it be on special teams, whether it be on offense, whether it be on our significantly improved defense. Yeah, our secondary was shaky at times. I tweeted about it. Follow me over on X at Hat and Beard. But although our secondary got taken advantage of once or twice by the best quarterback in the league, and even though Aiden Hutchinson wasn't able to actually get any sacks, the pressure he was putting on really was starting to get to Mahomes. You could see by midway through the third quarter where it was really starting to affect him. He was getting a little disgruntled on the sidelines. And I mean, can you blame him? The entire game, he was essentially able to do whatever he wanted against the Lions defense when he was on the field. Hey, we did a pretty good job of ball control the majority of the game. Unfortunately, the Chiefs were able to hang in the game because, and I know this is going to sound like just bitching, and it really is, but you guys, I had no idea that Jawaan Taylor had the fastest first step in the history of the NFL. I also didn't realize that apparently if you're Jawaan Taylor, you can basically line up as an H-back or a slot wide receiver and call yourself an offensive lineman, because either the league is now allowing rule changes to accommodate for what Aiden Hutchinson is going to be, or somebody slipped some money and the bill ran out at 2:04 in the fourth quarter, because it took the referees until that what was a 4th and 20 attempted conversion by the Chiefs with 2:04 left in the game. I think it was 2:04, 2:02. It took right up until that moment for them to go, hey, wait a minute. Number 74 in red? Is he moving before the ball snapped? Well, we better have a meeting over this. But then it was time to call Jawaan Taylor for a false start penalty. He'd been doing it all game. He'd been lining up a man and a half deep in the backfield. But, hey, you know what? When you're the defending champs and when you're the face of the NFL and when your name's Patrick Mahomes, you get certain leeways, certain holding calls that don't get called, a lot of false starts that don't get called. But, hey, you know what? That is neither here nor there at that point. It's something that I noticed, and apparently Chris Collinsworth noticed as well because he kept talking about it. You guys, we just went blow for blow with the champs. Blow for blow. There was several times the Chiefs could have put that game away. We gave them nearly every opportunity that you could possibly imagine. Unfortunately, I don't think that Marvin Jones Jr. is the solution that we thought he was going to be, because we had a chance to go up real early on, and that fumble, I'm not saying it broke us, but it gave Patrick Mahomes an opportunity to do Patrick Mahomes things, and he clearly did Patrick Mahomes things, going 80 yards in 3-4 plays. Hey, look, but that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. That's the mental fortitude. That's the toughness. That's the grit of this team, of a Dan Campbell team. That's the type of players that you see Brad Holmes go out and get, is that they can take these blows and they can bounce back. They have a short memory. They can recover and can then come back and make plays. And I'd expect to see the same out of Marvin Jones. I think, they kind of sat him down the rest of the game and allowed Josh Reynolds to do his thing, which was massively significant in the fourth quarter. I feel that later on in the game, if Marvin Jones was in the slot or in the spot that Josh Reynolds was for that third down pass, I don't think he would have came up with it because I think he had a bit of the yips today. I think Marvin Jones might have had a bit of the yips. But let's not dwell on the negative. Let's look at the fact that the Chiefs had chances to put us away, and our defense rose to the occasion. Okay? The amount of confidence that Dan Campbell has in the defense. Fourth quarter, we're trying to milk the clock. We're trying to run out the clock. We're up by 1. Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th down. Justin Reed swats the pass down at the line of scrimmage. We turn it over on downs with a short field for the reigning league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, defending Super Bowl champions, to drive 30 yards with well over 2 minutes left in the game. I think there was still 3-some minutes left in the game. To drive down into field goal range. Harrison Butlicker could have come in and he was on all night long. All Harrison Butlicker had to do was kick a field goal. But Dan Campbell showed he's not just crazy, okay? I realize that everybody thinks he's nuts for all the times he goes for it on 4th down and all the fake punts that he likes to just do. Dan Campbell let his offense come up short, and he didn't bat an eye. He stood strong in the face of adversity along with the entire team, and he said, defense, Hutch, Anzalone, CJ, Brian Branch. Somebody go out and make plays. Go out and make plays. Get in Patrick Mahomes' face. Make him throw bad passes. Win us the game. And although our defense looks shaky at times throughout the game, the Detroit Lions defense has completely reversed itself from where we were at this point last year, and they won us this game. Our defense won us this game. Mr. Mayhem, Aiden Hutchinson, was able to do just enough to disrupt Patrick Mahomes all night. James Houston, John Kaminsky, even Aleem McNeil when he wasn't getting held. We were getting enough pressure on Patrick Mahomes to disrupt his play style. And luckily we have talented enough players in the secondary to cover less than hyper-talented wide receivers. Granted, Kadarius Toney bailed us out with a ton of drops tonight. Our defense won us the game. And on top of that, Brian Branch is going to be a very special player. Holy cow, guys. Brian Branch. Let's talk about Brian Branch. Brian Branch, projected first-round rookie, taken midway through the second round. Brian Branch, big enough man to show back up to the green room on draft day because he wanted his opportunity. Brian Branch, with his first ever NFL INT, houses it from 50 yards on Patrick Mahomes to tie the game at 14. Whoo! We have some very, very special young players. This draft class. We are starting to head into waters, folks. We are starting to head into waters where we're not talking about the best player Brad Holmes has selected over his 3 draft classes that he's had. We're having to have the argument of which draft class is better, because as the years go on, the number of talented players, and not just talented players, not just impactful players, but now we're starting to look at X-Factor players. Jahmyr Gibbs. Sam Laporta. Oh, man. So much for that Jared Goff doesn't support tight ends narrative I had going on, huh? Yeah, that's not... Sam Laporta might be our number 2 wide receiving threat. I mean, he was lining up wide a lot. All right, there was times we had 2 tight ends on the field, and Laporta was split out wide. All right, Sam Laporta, who all preseason long kind of struggled with some drops. All right, Sam Laporta went out tonight in Sam Laporta went out tonight in Travis Kelce's house, in his face, and showed everybody why the Detroit Lions brass is so hyped to get him with the 34th overall pick. I mean, let's be honest, everybody was kind of shocked by that, right? Not many of us were expecting a tight end, let alone a tight end that early. I mean, you guys know how I feel about tight ends in the first round. And the 34th overall pick is basically a first-round pick at that point. Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta has shown me tonight that man has a very high ceiling. Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs. Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho! Woo! Jahmyr Gibbs got wheels, fellas. Jahmyr Gibbs has wheels on wheels on wheels on wheels. I ain't never seen wheels on a Lions player like that for a very long time. He's fluid. He's agile. He's got hands. He's got vision. He's got strength. My man is stacked. He's a weapon. And I can't wait to see us exploit him all season long. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a matchup nightmare. Jack Campbell, our other first-round pick. Number 16th overall? 16 or 18? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Coming out and making plays in his limited action. Didn't get the start. But as soon as he hit the field, he comes out and makes a huge play. Comes out and makes a massive play. And then in the ensuing play, 2 plays later, maybe a play later, Brian Branch comes up with a 50-yard touchdown. I mean, come on. Are we... I'm going to jump the gun on this one, but guys, are we looking at a potential offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year drafted to the same team from the same school with Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs? Is that what we're potentially looking at? Because right now, yeah, I know we're one game in and we're the only team with any stats on the board, but the tape doesn't lie. The tape doesn't lie. Has the tape ever lied? Do the numbers lie? No, they don't. Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is the truth. Brian Branch is the steal of the draft. My man has Amon-Ra sized chips on his shoulder, all right? My man comes out and he's playing with his hair on fire, looking to make any play he can, light people up, take the ball away, and not just take the ball away. Not just take the ball away in the season opener against the Patrick Mahomes-led Super Bowl defending champions. But take the ball away in his first NFL INT all the way to the house. 50 yards. Brian Branch, let's go. Let's go, Brian Branch. Oh, you guys. As it sits right now, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, and Jahmyr Gibbs are all hits right out of the gate. Week 1. Heavy usage and made the most of the opportunities that they had. I cannot possibly question Brad Holmes ever again with any pick that he makes, any move he makes, any move Dan Campbell makes seems to be the right one. I don't want to jinx us, but I'm believing the hype. I'm definitely was drinking the Kool-Aid beforehand. Now I am just sniffing all my farts as well. You guys, what an amazing game. What an amazing game to go into a hostile territory, one of the hardest places to play in all of professional sports, one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, one of the fiercest, most diehard fan bases, and we show up. Lions fans, oh, did you guys show up? You should be proud of yourselves. Hey, right there, that's for all of y'all that made the trip down to KC. Way to turn out, way to just help the team, give us that last little bit across the end, because towards the end of the game, it was looking kind of like it was going to come down to whoever had the last bit of gas in the tank and whoever had the most grit. And Dan Campbell and company showed up, showed out, and showed everybody why we are not the same old Lions. We are we're new and improved. We picked up right where we left off. Right where we left off. I mean, how are we just drafting studs? 2 safeties in 2 drafts, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. Malcolm Rodriguez, Aiden Hutchinson. Even Levi Onzarike was giving us good times. Good, solid minutes out there, man. Solid plays to come back from the injuries. Oh. Well, I gotta stop, you guys. I gotta stop. Clearly, you can tell I am way too hype about this right now, and I hope you are too, because we have a weekend full of football ahead of us, and man, did we come out and set a high standard for everybody to try and overcome. That was a hell of a game, let alone a Thursday night primetime game. I know it was the kickoff, but normally Thursday night games are not that good. You guys, do myself and yourself a massive favor. Try and have yourself a good rest of your day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Anything you want. And frig off!